This is on an Imagination with a Healing Garden. And we are going to dive into that valley of shadow and death. The reason why it's so hard is because it is the trial to put to test everything you just learned. That's all. Everything you just learned. In the very first trial of life, Triadic Healing Part 1, the first time you go through the 12 ethics, you are defining the self. That's what you're doing. You are just defining the self. The second ethical perspective, I'm sorry, not the second ethical perspective, the second round of the 12 ethics, you are fortifying the self. Self-fortification. You are proving to yourself that you can defend what you just found. And the only way to prove that you can defend what you just found is through the trials. So the first 12 ethical perspectives are just self-definition. You're just figuring you out because you're going to be tested. The second round, that journey through the second round of ethics, is the hardest. It is fucking hell, because you are going to be tested on every front to see if you learned the lesson, which is self-love. It is grueling. It is when you lose everything. It is in you think you think you lose everything at the sixth ethic. You have no idea. You have no idea. No, you lose everything. You become comfortable with loss. You are Job. You are Job. You get to live the life of Job. Yep, that's the second round. So our mission is to give you as many of the skills, all of the skills as we possibly can in the first part, Triadic Healing, to get you ready for what's to come in the second round. After the second round, to be honest with you, everything's great. Everything's great. After the second round, you're fine. I call that the Bay of I. And that is when you start to have everything come back to you. And that's when you start to taste abundance and you go, wow, I earned it. And it really is over. That's when you start to climb out of it. And suddenly it's really easy to climb Mount Everest. It's really easy to climb Mount Everest after that. So the third round is you refining. It's the refinement of the self. So you have the defining self, and then you have the fortification of the self, and then you have the refinement of the self. And that's what you are doing in the third round, refining yourself. At the end of, and this is the best part, while you go through this, you can feel the spiral, just doing this, like a marble around a cone. You can feel it. And there's a point in the They of I, the third round, when it's doing faster because it's getting faster, and you're down this, and then it goes, and it hits around the seventh ethic of the third round, where it finally just goes, and then you go 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, just boom, all at once. And you're like, and that is when you stand at the point of comprehension. And then you are at the point of comprehension. And you go, oh, this is where we're all going. This is the point. It's the point. The point of life is the point. It's the point of comprehension. It's great. And that is when you are in a permanent state of just everything is love, logic, and truth. And all the bullshit is gone because you can see all the lies. And suddenly you go, oh, look at that. You're lying to me. Interesting. And then you know what to say, what not to say, how to say it, precisely where you need to direct your words to precisely preserve each and every perspective around you. And then, this is the best part, when you are at that center, your perspective begins to expand and then expand and then expand. That's where I am now, is the perspective expansion is what I call it. So when you get here, there's a normalizing period where you're just like, all right, I'm going to stabilize. And I felt like, oh, look at this. I'm in a genie bottle. I can just like, everything's, and I just started to nest and I started to plan my little thing. And then I went through an expansion and I went, whoa, my perspective just got wider. Whoa, it was amazing. That was the first perspective expansion from the point of truth. This is where you're going. This is where the pilgrim's journey is going. And then you have a second perspective expansion. And I'm at the third now. At the third perspective expansion. Oh, and this is the best part. the closer you get to the point of truth, the faster your manifestations come. It's wonderful. Like I was 3 days away and I'm like, I manifest and it's 3 days. I am 3 days away from the point of comprehension. I am 1 day away from the point of comprehension. Sure enough, that day, boop. And now I am like 1 hour. I manifest, I get it in an hour. It's that fast. It's awesome. Welcome to the point of comprehension. It is amazing here. And it is stable, it is solid, it is pure, it is absolutely true inner peace. This is inner peace. And that's when you can look back and you can see each and every great book. You can see each and every author of every great book, and you can go, oh, I know what perspective you stopped at. You look at Shakespeare and go, oh, I know what perspective you stopped at. You look at Christ and go, I know what perspective he stopped at. You look at Buddha and go, I know what perspective he stopped at. Every single great person in life got to a certain point. And I'm going to tell you right now, Miguel de Cervantes. Miguel de Cervantes. He's the one who made it this far. Douglas Adams. Douglas Adams was close. Douglas Adams and Miguel de Cervantes. These are the only two other people I've been able to find here. I have not read Tolstoy yet. I really need to read Tolstoy. I have no idea. And I'm going, oh, what perspective is Tolstoy? Because I got to figure out, I got to read Tolstoy now just to see which perspective he's at, where he left off. Ayn Rand only made it to the 8th perspective. Which is why her books are like this big. She only made it to the 8th perspective of the, I love it. So you can start recognizing where each of the great readers, writers, authors were in relativity to the point of truth, how far they came and where they were in the journey. And I would say the 12 Herculean trials are the first ethic, are the first round, but Pilgrim's Progress by John, I can't remember his last name. He was the second round. Oh yeah, absolutely. Valley of Shadow and Death is that second ethical, or the second round. Fucking hell it was. Fucking hell it was. Because you got to fortify it. You got to, okay, you learned how to defend yourself. Now defend yourself. Yeah, you got to hang on to what you've got. And it's literally the skill of learning how to defend yourself. And then you get to the third round and it's refining you. It's polishing you. It's realizing, all right, these are all supposed to get integrated, and it's learning how to live with all 12 integrations. But when you get to the point of comprehension, that's when you know who you are. That's when you know what you are. Yeah. And now it's just the point of the expansion. And it's the perspective expansions occurring. So this is the pilgrimage. This is the life journey. I'm going to say to you, you only go as far as you want to go, but no one makes it past the 6th perspective and stops. No one. No one makes it past the 6th perspective and goes, I'm just going to be okay with right here, except the Buddhists. Well, the 7th perspective with the oasis. Once you realize in the 7th perspective that there's a lot more and that you actually failed the ethics, it's like the 7th ethic is the test, the first test, and you got to pass the first test. Now, I contemplated a lot on whether or not I should tell people this stuff. But then I thought about Euclid. Where would we be if Euclid said, wow, geometry. Oh, no, everyone's got to have to figure that out for themselves. No, you don't get geometry. Nah, you have to figure out geometry for yourself. That's stupid. That's so fucking stupid. We don't do that. I thought about Pythagoras. Where would we be if Pythagoras decided, you know what I'm going to do? Circle of fifths, music theory. I'm not going to give you my circle of fifths, says Pythagoras. You're going to have to figure it out yourself. No. He doesn't do that. He tells you what it is. So if you decide I'm going to be a musician, you look up Pythagoras' work and you study the circle of fifths and you go, look at that, physics. Where would we be if Newton said things like physics? Wow! Gravity! No, you all have to figure it out for yourself. No, come on now, that's so narcissistic of us. You don't figure it out for yourself. We put our brains together like a bunch of scientists and say, guys, all right, what did you find? I'll tell you what I found. I found this really awesome, cool shit. Ooh, look what I found. Because that's what scientists do. So this whole idea of, why are you sharing people the pilgrimage? They gotta figure it out. Really? Really? I live at the point of comprehension. No, that's stupid. That's de-evolution. Because I know how to reverse engineer an intuition. Do you? Most people don't. Most people have no idea where academic disciplines come from. I will tell you. Academic disciplines come from reverse engineering your own intuition. It's called reading Mother Nature, putting it inside of you, and then translating your own feelings, knowing that your feelings are actually just interpretations of math, logic, and physics. And that when you are so refined with Mother Nature, math, logic, and physics and linguistics, that you can just take it into you, put it through your body, and then regurgitate exactly what it is you're saying into translation of, oh, wow, look at what I found. Isn't this cool? I'm going to write down all of the logical proof to prove it now because it's really cool. Look what I found. And then the math falls into your lap. You don't go to math. Math comes to you. Look at that. You know it's logical when the math just falls into your lap. You know it's logical when the physics just shows up in your face. You know it's right when chemistry goes, boom, the human atom. Okay, we are atoms, people. We are electromagnetic fields and we are atoms because it just fell into my face. So says physics. And then I wrote all the formulas that I could see that Mother Nature gave me. And I just put it out on the internet to go, here's all the math, logic, and physics. And then I tell people and they go, whoa, that makes so much sense. And it feels good. And it feels right. And it gives me joy. And it makes sense. And then I teach you how to do it yourself so you can check my work. Peer review. See, that's the problem. I got to that point in scientific method and they're like, you need peer review. Peer review? I'm going to have to go make my peers in order to have peer review. So I'm going to go make my peers now. So that's what I'm doing. I am making my peers. So you can all join me at the point of comprehension so you can check my work. That's what we're doing. That's what the healing garden is. That's right. That's right. That's what all of this is. I need peers to check my work because I got to this point and they're like, all right, now peer review. Peer review? Well, Cervantes has been dead for like 500 years. So I'm going to need peers. I am in need of peers. That's what I need. I need peers. So this is why on my website I say I'm currently under peer review. Yeah, I'm waiting. So this is the point of comprehension. The very first thing you learn when you get here is the arts are always right. Theater and stage, comedy and humor, which is what Douglas Adams teaches us. Isn't that great? And he had a smart ass comment of the restaurant at the end of the universe. And I went, I'm looking for it, Douglas. I am looking for your restaurant here. It's hilarious. And I love it. Oh my God, I love it. I totally did the Doctor Who thing where I'm sitting here going, all right, the ultimate question. The ultimate question is, how do I market this? Really, Douglas, that's the ultimate question to life, the universe, and everything. How do I market this? And then he said, you got to ask the right question. You're Doctor Whoing me right now. I got to ask the right question. All right, the right question. What's the right question? Well, that's for you to figure out. Yeah. Play the game. Thank you so much. May the kindest of words always find you.